Hi everyone, and thank you for joining me for our Magic Chicken 5 meal kit assembly. We are going to be making these meals in advance so that you have them for some busier nights coming up, maybe during your week or next week. Doing meals in advance is always fabulous and very helpful, saving you time in the kitchen when you have those nights with meetings scheduled or kids' activities. So this has just been the trend right now with everybody doing meal kits, and so I am happy that you are giving the Tastefully Simple meal kits a try. I've been using them for about 7 years, maybe a little bit longer even, and we find that there are just some days where coming home and having that meal already prepped together and just having to warm it up or basically just cooking it has been a real lifesaver. So I'm happy that you are here with me today, and we are going to begin assembling using our Magic Chicken. So the first thing that we needed to do was prepare the Magic Chicken, and that is making the 4 to 6 pounds of chicken in either your slow cooker or your Instant Pot. So I have that done, and I typically shred mine, but you can also dice yours if you choose to go that route rather than shredding it, or you could do a combination, totally and completely up to you. That's the nice thing about using the Magic Chicken in recipes, is it really doesn't matter what style of chicken that the recipe calls for, anything goes. So no matter what you have ready, you can use that in almost all of your recipes. So the first one that we are going to assemble is the Bayou Chicken and Veggie Noodle Bowls. So the instructions say to boil your noodles and put them in a bag and freeze them. I refrain from doing that. I like my pasta fresh, so I am going to skip that step. But if you are fully following the instructions, you will want to do that. So prepare your pasta and put that into a gallon-sized bag, and be sure that you include your oil in that bag. Then our next step is going to be using our chicken. So I've put 3 cups of the Magic Chicken into a quart-sized bag. Now remember, we do want to get all of the air out of there. That is an important part of doing the freezer meals. Air is not your friend when it comes to the freezer and using freezer bags. So squish all that air out of there. Our next step says to put a 1/4 cup of the Bayou Bourbon Glaze into a quart-sized bag. Again, I don't like to put my sauces into a bag because I feel that there may be waste. That's my fault. So again, if you're following the instructions step by step, you want to put a 1/4 cup of the Bayou Bourbon Glaze into another quart-sized bag. And then we are going to take a gallon freezer bag that is labeled. Labeling is a good idea. And then when I label my bags, the light might be glaring there a little bit. I like to put the date on there as well, just because sometimes they do get pushed to the back of your freezer. And then a couple months down the road, you come to it and you go, oh gosh, how long ago did I do this? So I do like to include dates on my bags. So in our gallon bag, then we are going to place all of our previous bags. So if you have your pasta bag, you would throw that in here. And then we have our chicken bag. And then you would have your bag of your sauce. And all 3 of those would go in here, as well as our vegetables. I went with just broccoli and cauliflower because I have a picky eater at my house yet. He's getting better, but use a stir-fry vegetable blend and throw that in there. So then you have everything in one bag that you are going to need to make this on the evening that you decide that you are going to have the Bayou Chicken and Veggie Noodle Bowls. So there you are. You have one ready. When you ordered the kit, you received all of the recipes with the instructions. So you have your recipe. When you are ready to serve this one for your family, you will simply follow the recipe. It will tell you to thaw it and tells you exactly where to pick up in the instructions as far as your preparation steps. I'm going to quickly just probably into my freezer. And the next one that we're gonna do, I'm gonna skip over the flatbread for right now and make a separate video on that one because that one's gonna take a little bit more time. The next one I'm gonna jump to is the Bayou Chicken Street Tacos. Again, this one calls for lots of quart size bags, but we're first going to start with a quart size bag with 3 cups of our magic chicken in. So I have my chicken in my quart size bag. I have this all ready to go, squeezing all of the air out of it and closing that one up. Then our next step would be to add the Bayou Bourbon glaze to another quart bag. Again, I'm gonna wait and I'm going to add this the evening that we are preparing the meal, but you would put a 1/2 cup of the Bayou Bourbon glaze into your bag. And your bag would be labeled step 1B. One thing that I recommend is that you sit down and label all of your bags, go through the instructions and label all of your bags before you begin. It makes it much easier rather than stopping and preparing a bag, adding the food. It just makes things flow for you a little quicker. And then your process of doing your meals will, you'll be done in even quicker time. So then after we have our bag of the Bayou Bourbon, then your next bag is going to calls for a tablespoon of the Macon Magic Chicken seasoning. So we're going to add even more seasoning to this one. And again, I'm not going to put just 1 tablespoon of the seasoning into a bag. I'm going to add this back to my chicken. My feeling is as long as all of the seasonings and ingredients are in there, it may not necessarily matter as to what bag you're putting them in. So I'm just going to add this more to our chicken. This is already on our chicken, but this is going to add more of that garlic and onion flavor to it. So I'm just adding that right back to my chicken bag. But again, if you're following the instructions step by step, which I totally encourage you to do if this is your first time, then you're going to have a quart bag with 1 tablespoon of the Macon Magic Chicken seasoning in. And then our next step is another quart bag for your corn or flour tortillas. My bag of tortillas is 20 rather than 18, and I feel no need to put these into another plastic bag. So I'm going to just include them as they are in the plastic bag that I purchased them in. And then our next step is to label another quart bag. Step 3B, and in that one we are going to be adding our cheese. So 1/2 cup of the crumbled Mexican queso fresco cheese. I could not find that in the grocery store yesterday, so I simply bought a Fiesta cheese, which I thought would go well with our tacos. So I'm just using Fiesta cheese. If you find the one called for in the recipe, that's going to give you a better version of what the recipe is really aiming for. But this is going to work too. It's totally okay to substitute where you choose to or where you need to. So again, we have our multiple bags, and then we're going to have a gallon bag labeled with our street tacos. So again, I have my bag labeled and with the date on it. And then we're simply going to put all of our quart bags into our freezer bag. So everything is in one place for you when you decide to prepare this meal for your family. The nice thing with having these on hand, if you decide what you're having early in the morning and you take them out, or even preferably the night before, and you have them thawing in your refrigerator, you could have a family member get these pulled out and started for you because they are that simple and everything is assembled. Even if you have a teenager that can help you in the kitchen, or a spouse that doesn't mind stepping into the kitchen and helping out, then they can pull these out and they can get them started for you. If you are running late on your way home from work, from your meeting, wherever your day took you. So that is our second meal. So we've done 2 meals already in just a matter of a few minutes. So that shows you how quickly that these can be done. So by doing your meal planning on the weekends on a Saturday or a Sunday, or if you work weekends and you have a day off during the week, you can do it on one of those days. And then just taking some time. This is going to take us about half hour, 45 minutes today. If you do a 10 meal kit, that might take you an hour and a half, up to 2 hours, depending on how many ingredients are in each of the recipes, but they do go very quickly. So you can see how this is a time saver for you and how this could benefit you and your family with having some meals done up in advance and knowing what you are going to be eating. It also helps you by providing you with the exact grocery list. So it doesn't get much easier than that. So we're going to start on our third recipe, which is a barbecue magic chicken salad. Okay, so then we need our bag with the chicken salad labeled, and we use 2 cups of chicken in this one. So you would have your bag labeled, and we would put 2 cups of the chicken in there. And then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of the barbecue sauce. This one we're going to add right in there. If you've hung out with me much at all, you know that I don't really use measuring cups. Something I inherited from my grandma. She was a this and that cooker and used a coffee cup to measure, used her palm to measure her seasonings. So it worked for her, so I figure it can work for me. My whole family of cooks kind of cook in that manner. So anyway, we are adding 1/4 cup of the smoky bacon barbecue sauce to our magic chicken. And I am going to smush that around a little bit just because as it's frozen, then it's going to take on some of that barbecue flavor. I love the flavor of barbecue. So anytime I can get a smoky flavor into my proteins, my steaks, my chicken, that is right up my alley. So I want this to marinate a little bit while it's frozen and then again when it thaws. So I've mixed that up in there together. And then our next step is our cheese. So we have another bag that's labeled the Magic Chicken Salad Step 2, and we are adding 1 cup of shredded cheddar cheese to that. So I have my cheese into my bag, 1 cup of the cheddar cheese. And then again, if you're following instructions, it says to use another bag and add your rustic herb seasoning. I added my rustic herb right to my cheese. Again, I figure as long as the seasoning is getting in there, I don't need to add it separately. I can add it with another ingredient. So I'm saving a bag and I am simply adding it to my cheese, and then that mixture will go on top of my salad. So we have those 2 bags. And then we have a gallon bag, which we're going to put all 3 bags in if you have 1, 2, and 3 bags. I have 2, remember. So we're just going to find our gallon chicken bag, chicken salad. And in that bag, then we put the other bag. So another nice thing about using the quart size bag and then putting everything together in the gallon size freezer bag is it is double bagged. So a little more reassurance against freezer burn. And also, again, just the whole purpose of having everything together in one place when you pull it out of your freezer and just be ready to prepare that meal. So here we have our chicken salad. And I am dating it. So those are 3 meals already. Very quick, very easy. I'm going to hop off now and I will make another video with the other 2 recipes. So hopefully you have a little time. You can catch up on getting those 3 prepared and into your freezer, and then we will start the next recipes. Thanks.